If I stomped a puppy to death out here, up here, just a little puppy, and stomped it right here to death in front of you, most of you would need therapy. And I would be arrested probably faster than killing a black man for killing a puppy. Now I want you to look at this photo very closely, and I want you to see who's in it. More important than the man hanging, because you got to understand the lynchings that occurred in America happened after slavery, not during. Thousands of lynchings happened after slavery, because this is a reaction to white fear of what we would do once freed. But we didn't create a vigilante group to take out white people, but they did create a vigilante group to take us out now that we're free. See, that happened after slavery. They were called the what? The Ku Klux Klan. They don't wear hoods anymore, they wear suits. But they're alive and well all over the world, even here. So, look at who's in the picture. I want you to look at this little girl in particular. You can't see her closely, but she's actually grimacing, like smirking. Now, remember, let's go back to the puppy concept here. She would be loathed and torn up probably if this was a puppy, which means he's less than that, because she's not disturbed. This little girl is not disturbed by this, but she should be, shouldn't she? People always ask me, they go, Joy, what was the impact on white people? There it is, right there. Can't feel any empathy for him. None, zero, zip. There's a little one back here, even smaller. Because whatever she's been taught or told, socialized to believe, makes him no longer human. That's the greatest danger to white people, is that they can't feel it. And there's a reason why white people can't feel what we're talking about. My God, what would you then feel? It's tough. So I've got to believe, oh, it's all over now. It's not my fault. I don't benefit. It's not a big deal. Let's move on. It's not all of those things. But we don't say that to Jewish people. I dare you.
Let me just say, white people don't care if black people want to be left to their own devices, I promise you. It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities. It's like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like, we would leave you to it. We would be, oh my goodness, good for you guys.
Wow, so not only are you dumb and uneducated and a bigot, you're also inefficient, because that was a lot of words to say. I'm a white supremacist and I'm okay with it. Let's talk about the history of white people just accepting black communities. 1873, Colfax, Louisiana. White mobs murdered 150 black men who were defending a Reconstruction era form of government, and it was a coup to seize political power away from black residents. 1898, Wilmington, North Carolina. White mobs overthrew the multiracial city government and then slaughtered dozens of black families and burned down their businesses. 1910, Slocum, Texas. White mobs attacked a prosperous black farming community out of racial and economic resentment, killed dozens, forced the survivors to flee, and stole their land. 1912, Forsyth County, Georgia. After a false rape allegation, white mobs terrorized and expelled all of the black residents, forcing those survivors to flee, and then seized their land and homes and redistributed it to a white community. And then in 1919, in Helena, Arkansas, hundreds of black sharecroppers were murdered by white mobs and federal troops after they organized a union to demand fair wages. And in 1920, in OK, Florida, black citizens were massacred and their town was burned to the ground after they attempted to vote in a presidential election. And then in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, one of the wealthiest black communities that has ever existed was destroyed in a 2-day massacre where 35 blocks were destroyed and burned to the ground, and hundreds of black residents were killed. And then in 1923 in Rosewood, Florida, a self-sufficient black town was annihilated by white mobs after a false accusation, and survivors never could return. 1943 in Detroit, Michigan, racial tensions over housing and jobs, does that sound familiar, led to a deadly riot in which black neighborhoods were destroyed by law enforcement. And then in 1967, also in Detroit, Michigan, an uprising sparked by a police brutality incident was met with military force. They sicked the military on the black neighborhoods, killing 43 and accelerating the decline of black neighborhoods. And then in 1985, Philadelphia dropped a bomb on a black neighborhood because they had a black rights movement called MOVE in those houses. A peaceful liberation movement, and Philadelphia bombed it.